Welcome. Welcome to Avaar, a platform dedicated to exploring the shared human experience. Though we each walk unique paths, our journeys are connected by universal threads. At Avaar, we embrace the belief that we are all a part of one collective consciousness. Welcome to Avaar. Get snuggled in. I think you're gonna love it here. You're gonna love it here.
So on this episode, I'm super excited to get into this episode. I have a really special guest. She's graced us with her presence. And I'm just super excited. Something I want to share is a quote from, I feel like I'm going to mispronounce her name, but Iyanla Vanzant, which is one of my favorites. She said, the only experience that you're having is the one you're having with yourself. And I felt like that was a really deep quote because a lot of times we meet people and we're wondering why we're having some of these same experiences. And it's because we're meeting ourselves in other people. And so I thought that was a very profound quote. So without further ado, we got to get into the guest, okay? So I'm going to give a little background on how I met this beautiful young lady. So I think the first time that we met was I came to your showcase.
Yes, on a Thursday night. Yes.
So yes. I had came to your showcase. I don't know if I was invited by somebody else.
I think you came with Brittany because y'all came for Benji Music's birthday.
No,
that was a Thursday night.
No, so this the time that I met you, it was your showcase.
That wasn't the first time we met.
For real?
The first time I ever saw you was when you came, when I was hosting that open mic session, when you came with Brittany Balmer for Benji Music's birthday. The second time we met was at If I Must album release. By that time, that was my birthday. That was our third time face to face.
I thought that was my okay. Well, my bad.
Well, maybe actually being, hey girl, what's up? But we met.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Kind of in passing, I guess you would say the first two times.
Okay, so let me say this: the first time that I really had the chance to experience her was at her showcase, and I think you were getting ready to release a single.
It was for my birthday.
It was for her birthday. And when she got on that stage, energy impeccable, such an amazing human being. And I was just glad to just had been there that night to just experience you and be a part of your moment. And I already knew then that you were a real genuine person, real down to earth person. You. So that was the first time. So she is a songstress. She is a creative. She just got a promotion, y'all. It is so much more I feel like to discover about her. But welcome to Avaar, Bri Will. How you feeling today?
Hey everybody, I'm feeling good. Girl, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for the behind the scenes y'all didn't get to get, but baby, we were chatting before we hit record.
Having good conversation.
Yes, it's when you said you just felt genuinely connected. We here.
Yes.
This is something good here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm excited to be here at Avaar. What's up, y'all?
Yes, I'm super happy to have you here. So I kind of want to get into the origins of who you are. Okay. How did Bri Will come about? Where's your origin story? I know that you grew up in Chicago, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm fascinated with Chicago a little bit. Through the Shy. I love one of my favorite.
Not the TV show.
One of my favorite shows. I just love the energy of what I see about the city, and just I can't wait to visit. And then I also have family that's from there. So tell the audience about who you are, where you came from, what was your upbringing like.
Sure.
You know.
Okay, so when a man and a woman love each other very much, No, I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. I am the youngest of 4 children.
Okay.
So I have 2 older brothers and an older sister.
Okay.
I lived in Chicago, I'm going to just say right up until college.
Okay.
I went to Eastern Illinois University, but it's like 3 hours away from Chicago.
Okay.
So let's just say when I went away to college, I kind of never moved back
Wow.
to the
Okay.
city.
Gotcha.
So
What
started
part of
singing
Chicago are you
South
from?
Side.
Okay.
South
From the
Side.
South Side.
South Side, 76, 79.
Okay.
The origin of Bri Will. So we hear this all the time, started singing in church. Okay. Singing like you the only kid in the adult choir, the big people choir, you know, that was me.
Okay. Look, she was
That was
singing with
me.
the adult choir. Okay.
I mean, just always had like a very powerful voice, even as a child.
Dope.
And so I just loved music, loved to sing. And so my mom kind of leaned into that a lot and cultivated it. And so she enrolled me in 7th grade, took me out of Chicago Public School, and I auditioned to go to this school called the Chicago. It's the Choir Academy of the Chicago Children's Choir.
Oh, wow.
And so the Chicago Children's Choir is kind of a thing. I don't know if it's like nationwide like it used to be, but in the city of Chicago, that was a thing. That mean like that you were an impeccable vocalist. Okay. And so they created a charter school where it was a longer day. So we went to school from about 7:45 to 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
And so we had regular classes, but on top of that, we had piano class.
Wow.
We had percussion class where we learned to play the xylophone and the djembes and snare drums and stuff like that. And then every grade, so they added a grade every year. So when I started there, it was only 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So then when I went to 8th grade, it was 5th, 6th. You get what I'm saying? They would add a year.
Yeah.
So every class had a choir. So every grade had its own choir. So then you would have choir. And then we also had vocal technique. That was a class. And then we had a recording studio class. So you get why we were in school all day. And then there was this additional choir called treble choir.
Okay.
And it was, let's say, the elite of the children in the school that would audition, you would get in.
Yeah.
And that's really where I want to say the love for music really started. Like it's one thing to be able to sing, but to be able to appreciate all of the things of music.
Yeah.
So now I'm learning how to read music. I'm learning how to sight read. You know, we're tuning my ears to be able to match pitch and, you know, finding out vocal ranges and textures and tone, like learning all of those things.
Yeah.
And it was almost kind of like, if I could look into the sky, it was whimsical. It was just like, what is all of this beautiful? Like, it just make you feel warm. That's where I fell in love with music. Not just being able to sing, but with music. So I went there, graduated, and then I went to a school on the north side of Chicago. Okay. Took about an hour to get there every morning. I auditioned into there and became a vocal music major in high school.
Wow.
So
you was able to get college credits.
Well, they had majors at my school. So like you could major in like instrumental music, vocal music, and then it was an IB program I always mess up, baccalaureate program. Okay. Whatever that is. You had to test into the school. Gotcha. And so they had different programs that you could major in like before going to college. Gotcha. So I did vocal music. Okay. And then I auditioned for a college. I got into EIU. Okay. And pursued music up until like my 3rd year. And we won't talk about that because we never know where these recordings may come back up. But I had to change my major. Let's just say I joined the gospel choir. And being a classically trained vocalist, joining the gospel choir, they ain't like that. We'll just do that. They ain't like that. So I'm just giving you like kind of like my background as far as music. So I never gave up on music though. I joined another singing group at school, and it was a gospel singing group. And so that's when I started writing music. It's like my life is just like layers of music, like being able to sing, learning what music is, and loving it for all that it can be. And then the songwriting started in college. After college, I actually was Bri Willis and Glory. I don't talk about that much, so this is like an exclusive.
So where the glory come from?
So I was a gospel artist. And Glory was my support vocalists. I don't like
Okay.
calling them BGVs, but
Gotcha.
so it was me and the people that sang with me.
Okay.
And I did that for a little bit, and then we'll fast forward. I want to get ahead of myself, but then I moved on to coming to Houston, and I wrote music for different artists back at home, gospel artists that were here, writing songs for churches and stuff like that. And then I went to a place called Phil and Derek's.
Okay, I know about Phil and Derek's.
It was in September of 2018. 2019.
So when did you move to Houston?
I moved to Houston September 2018.
Okay,
September
in 2018.
2018.
Oh, so you've been here a while.
Just a little bit, 6
Okay.
years. But I went to Phil and Derek's. I saw Patrice Dominique sing for the first time. I said, what is this? Because Chicago, we ain't got this going on.
Yeah.
A full band. I'm eating dinner. And this girl is up here singing for her life. You understand me? And I'm just like, and singing all the songs I love.
Yes.
So then literally, it was my friend's birthday. Literally the year after that, I saw a guy named Benji Music. I said, I'm finna shoot my shot because I can sing a ooh and a ah.
We love Benji, okay?
We love Benji. I love you, Benji Music.
Okay, yeah.
And long story short, I wanted to be one of his background singers. He told me no.
Okay.
Then I saw him a little while after that, and I said, hey, you told me no before, but I'm going to ask again.
Okay.
He told me to meet him at this place called Hinky and Pilot. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to a rehearsal. Baby, no. I showed up, and it was an open mic, and he was like, what's going on? And I said, hey. He was like, ain't nobody started yet. I said, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit back and wait to see how they do this. He said, or you can go be the first person.
Okay. Just gonna put her on the spot.
And I went to that open mic every week, whether somebody went with me or not.
Wow.
Every single week, probably for like 4 to 5 months. Watching the scene, watching how everybody just flowed, because this was new to me.
Yeah.
We didn't have this kind of vibe.
So let's backtrack a little bit. How is the music scene in Chicago?
I can't speak for what they're doing now because they have progressed.
Okay.
But it wasn't a thing.
Like y'all don't have like a music scene at all?
Not like an R&B music scene. Chicago's really big for like midnight musicals, Friday night musicals in the church. So everybody got...
So musicals as like musical productions?
Musicals as in like gospel choirs coming together, different gospel groups around the city.
Okay.
And it's going to start at 7 and end at like midnight.
Gotcha.
And everybody going to come up and sing. So it's going to be a Wasila, Giwa, and such and such. And then you got Bri Will and such and such. And then you got the such and such mass choir.
Gotcha.
That was really big when I was back at home. Now they're starting to kind of move into what Houston does, which is the live music, the vocalist, the band type of thing.
Gotcha.
But long story short, Bri Will came about one day. There was an open mic contest. I had just left a writing camp for like 2 days at this lake house out here. Shout out to Trey Cosmos. He had a writing camp.
Okay.
And this was my first time
I think I remember that
being
camp.
around other artists, seeing how they create music. It was like instruments there and everything. And I said, I'm truly inspired and I'm not backing down after this. And so I drove from Conroe all the way back into the Houston, city limits. And I went to the open mic contest and I walked in there and it was for $300. You win $300. I was literally short $300 on my rent. Okay. I said, I'm not leaving out of here without that $300.
Come on now, dedication, hard work.
And when they said, what's your name so we can introduce you?
Yeah.
I said, my name is Bri Will.
So is that when you became Bri Will?
That night was the first time ever that I was introduced as Bree Will. It wasn't a year later until I told people what that meant.
And you know what I love about your name is, to me it's a like kind of like an affirmation. Like Bree Will, because you could say anything after that. Bree will be successful. Bree will travel the world. Bree will be a multi-billionaire. Bree will, but you know what I'm saying?
Yes, she will.
It is given affirmative.
Very much so. And that's what I mean when I finally tell people what my name means. It's Bri Will, and I put an ellipses on the end.
Wow.
And I could, like you said, fill it in with whatever I want to fill it in because I believe that I will. So I prophesy over myself every time I say my name. And you do too. Every time you say Bri Will. And people greet me like that. Bri Will, you will be great. And I be like, hey girl, yes I will.
Exactly. So, I love that. I love that. It's important to affirm yourself, and the fact that you have that in your name, I think that that's a beautiful thing as well. I think that's beautiful. So let's segue, and I feel like you kind of touched on this.
I'm sorry, I was just I just be talking sometimes.
Oh no, you good. This is the platform for you to be authentic, living your truth, and express yourself however you want to. So I definitely want you to, feel comfortable with sharing whatever you want to. So I know you touched on this a little bit with your upbringing, but how was it like growing up in Chicago? Just being like a kid. I know, kind of segueing off of the music, but just growing up. Like, how was family? How was it, just growing up in Chicago?
I would have to say, like, Chicago when I was a child is not the Chicago that it turned into that was exploited to the world. Chicago to me makes me think about running up and down the street with your friends, being outside all day. Yeah. Literally till the street lights come on.
Wow. But you better be in before the street lights come on.
Or at least on the porch. I'll tell you that. Okay. So the way our houses is set up in Chicago, they kind of close to each other. Okay. So like we got like stoops. Yeah. Okay. So like when I think about growing up in Chicago, I think about, like I said, playing with my friends. I think about driving up and down Lakeshore Drive. Like that's something I still like to do, listening to music. And that was started by my father. Okay. He would pick me and my sister up from school and we would go, it was this place called Jewtown. We would go get like a Polish or a hot dog. Okay. And he would take the long way home. Okay. And he would roll the windows down and crack them, or even if it was cold outside and we would just drive up and down Lake Michigan, you could see like the water. Wow. And he would play like old school R&B.
Yeah. That's such a vibe. It is. That's what I do like about Chicago is y'all have like nice waters, because we got Galveston.
You gotta go to Galveston.
We got Galveston, and I'm not getting in that damn water.
Yeah, don't put your feet in there neither.
Don't put your feet in there. But I love that y'all have like scenic views. Now, something I do want to ask you about, because I done had this debate, with some Chicago people.
Let me hear it.
And they say that Houston ain't got good food. It ain't nothing like Chicago. But from what I hear, everybody that comes to the city that ain't from Chicago, they like Houston has some of the best food because we have a diverse, food. But I just want to know from a Chicagoan, like, how is the food in Chicago and compared to Houston?
Okay, I'm gonna look in the camera when I answer this question.
Oh Lord,
Houston, I mean you no harm whatsoever. But
right before finish her.
Right. Chicago has the best food in the world to me. Okay. To me. I love you, Houston.
What
you
do
have
y'all
adopted
specialize in though?
I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm gonna tell you why I think people love Houston food first. Okay. But I'm gonna answer your question. Okay. I can't have shellfish. Oh. So I think a lot of people come here because you all do have a vast selection of food, but it is really centered around seafood real bad. What? Like when you think about anywhere you go, you can get fried shrimp, fried catfish, fried fish. Yeah. Then you go to the steakhouse, it's lobster mac and cheese. You go to any black owned restaurant, lobster mac and cheese, crawfish mac and cheese, some type of fish on some fish sauce, fish this, fish that. What about the people who can't eat that, like me? Yeah. So people like, oh, you don't know what good eating is. You need to go to such and such juicy crab. And I be like, I can't eat that.
So you can't eat those. Wait, so you can't eat no seafood?
I cannot have shellfish. Very anaphylactic, very close up, she gonna die.
Okay.
But when it comes to fish, I don't eat that unless it's at the house either, because if they're frying shrimp, they're going to fry the fish in the same grease. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so a lot of times I just be like, hey, y'all, I don't do any seafood whatsoever. Now, if it's at the house, I'll have one fillet of catfish. Gotcha. and maybe 2, but 2 is gonna really make my stomach upset. I don't know what it is in fish. I can eat that part, but I don't eat it out because they fry it together.
Exactly.
Okay, your question was, what do we have back at home that's just good? Okay, so there's something called a pizza puff.
Okay.
It's like think of a Hot Pocket, but more savory, more seasoned.
Okay.
More like crispy if you fry it.
Okay.
But it's like a dough though, like a pocket pizza.
Okay.
Basically. That's something that's very famous out there.
That sounds good.
We have fried chicken wings now, whole wings. Amen. Okay.
So
not,
wait, what you saying? We don't got whole wings here?
No. When you
Yes,
go get
we
when
do.
you go get a 6-piece chicken wing, what you gonna have? You gonna have 3 drums and 3 flats.
No, you just gotta go to the places that have the whole wings, but we do got Houston, chime in. We got whole wings, okay?
Okay, there are whole wings at some places, like Chicken
and you gotta
Plus.
go to the hood spot.
Chicken Plus.
You don't like hood?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, you like
Those
it.
are whole
Okay.
wings.
Okay.
We have some called Italian beef.
Okay.
It's like shaved beef in this au jus. Think of a French dip.
Okay.
But the bun is like a hoagie bun. I can't explain it. So you put the meat in there, you put cheese on it, and then they dip it.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, girl. It's good. And then you put the
I gotta
peppers
try
on.
it.
Let me tell you, they building a Portillo's. If you ain't never heard
I
of
heard
it.
about it.
It's right around the corner from my house. So you'll come on my side.
Okay.
When they open it.
When she invite me over,
She gonna bring y'all with her.
I'm gonna bring y'all.
Yeah, and we gonna go eat that.
Okay.
But it's stuff like that, and then of course mouth sauce. But I feel like you might have been able to have it because there's some places here in.
Yeah. Now, is it different? Does it taste different out there from? I think I may. I don't know if I've had it. No, I haven't had mouth sauce.
I've
yet.
had mouth sauce from 2 places out here that's from back home.
Okay.
And it tastes like home
tastes
to
good.
me.
Okay, got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it tastes like home to me.
Okay.
Yep. So I would say those things.
Okay.
Just little simple stuff. But I think it's just seafood heavy out here when it comes to the food.
Yeah.
So
okay. So we already touched on that was my next question was gonna be how did you discover music, but you talked about that.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. You talked about that, how you came to being in school and things of that nature. Okay, so we're gonna segue into my first segment. Okay. All right, test your musical taste. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So basically, I'm gonna present you with the scenario. I am a music head. Like when I tell you I love all types of genres of music, I just love music. So a person that knows how to place the proper music with the proper scene and to get everybody feeling how they need to feel and stuff like that lets me know that a person has good musical taste.
Ooh, don't mess around and do the wrong placement with Wasila.
You got to have the right music for the right thing. Okay. So I'm going to present you with a scenario, and then you're going to have to give me what you feel is your best song to set the mood for that particular scene.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to close my eyes.
Okay. So let me see. Let me come up with something in my head. Girl, I was supposed to have something ready. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So, your man, heavy on your man.
My man. Okay. I'm single.
Okay,
I don't have no man.
she's single and ready to mingle. Calls you up. He like, babe, I need you to be ready at this time. The dress is in the closet that I want you to wear. Don't ask no questions, but I need you to be ready on time and ready to go. I'm taking you somewhere really special. I want to show you the love that's inside of me, and I want to display it to you tonight. What song are you, should I say when you're getting ready to play? When you're getting ready, you're playing? Or, you know what, I'm going to ask you both.
Okay.
So you're getting ready. What song are you playing to feel, to getting your feels and feel, you know, how you need to feel for that night? And then the second question is going to be when you're with your man and you're in the car, what song is playing? So it's a double whammy. So what are you playing to get ready, you know?
Dang.
You can go. You can go old school. You can go new school.
Can I go indie artist?
Okay.
You want a mainstream artist?
I want to know something that people would, you know,
they would know.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang. Let me go back. I'm gonna do what's playing in the car.
Okay. You gonna do that one first?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that one first.
Okay.
It's giving very much my Johnny Gill, like
my,
you know, slip on that red dress vibe.
My.
I'm feeling like the right hand is gonna be on my left thigh. You feel me?
Yes,
Passenger
it's
princess
giving. Yes, it's giving that. It's giving
okay.
that.
If I'm getting dressed and I'm ready.
And you trying to put it on, like you trying to get into your womanly vibe and really present, you know, that goddess energy.
Ooh.
Trying to see what song would I choose.
Girl, it's so many things going on in my head. I'm trying to think one song I'm gonna sing front to back, but you said no indie artists, so I'm trying to think. Okay, so it will probably be Jill Scott. That is my favorite artist of all time.
What is it giving? Is it giving Royal?
I wouldn't even think about that one. Okay.
You know, what's the name of that song?
Crown Royal.
Baby.
That song is very much so giving.
The way she ate that record up, baby, I was like, oh, this is a woman talking.
Oh, very much so. A grown woman.
A grown woman.
I think I would do something from her first album.
Okay.
And only because when I'm in that state where I'm getting ready for my man, I'm not even thinking about her around sexy.
Okay.
I'm thinking about like Powerpuff Girls, like very cute, very demure.
Yes.
So it's probably gonna be Do You Remember Me?
See, can you? Cause she got vocals, y'all. So I'm putting her on the spot. Can you give us just a little?
The way that the weather has whipped through here and got all the singers singing in their lowest range. Let me see. It's Do You Remember Me? I think it starts like oh honey,
yeah.
Why you've got to be so mean? I don't know. It just makes me feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad, y'all. I'm sick.
No, you're good. You're good. But I remember that song. I remember that song from her catalog. But that cutesy. Is cutesy.
Just a little. But that my gonna send it all the way home.
Okay. Slip on that red dress. Slip on those high heels. And some of that sweet perfume. Hey,
come on.
It sure look good on you.
Sing, Wasila.
What did we say? Tonight will be the special night.
See?
We put it together. And when you say, my, woo, your show looking good tonight.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah. Come on.
That's what I feel like he be wanting me to know.
What?
Mm-hmm.
And baby, who is that? That's Johnny Gill, right? Who else is one of my favorites from back in the day?
KC, JoJo.
Keith Sweat. What's that song? What's that song by him?
Which one? Are you talking about something? You know.
No, not that one. What's the other one? I think it was him and a woman singing.
Girl, now you're making me look like I don't know no music. Keith Sweat. Oh, yes,
I do. Ooh, yeah. I want your body.
Yeah, that's it. To the very last drop. Come on. What you say? I want you to holler. Until when?
When you want me to stop. Yeah.
Who can love you like me? Nobody. Hey, wait a minute.
That's the problem with these R&B niggers these days.
Yeah, I agree.
Baby, y'all got
talking to
really cater to a woman. We want to hear that good shit. That slow dancing.
Let me get up on you.
Yes.
Put your nose to my neck, baby.
You know, I seen something on TikTok. Somebody said, do men even kiss anymore?
Do they?
Do they even kiss
That's a
anymore?
thing. That's a thing.
Like,
that's a thing.
You know, y'all don't want to woo nobody no more.
No, they just want to get right to the hoo-ha.
Right to the hoo-ha.
Right to...
You be talking to a nigga 2 weeks. So, my dick hard.
Right. And if he willing to wait 2 weeks, because they out the gate with it now. It's crazy. It's in DMs now.
And let me tell you something. I'm all here for honesty, but I want to be wooed. Act like you care. You see what I'm saying? Show that you care about me. You just want to take my goodies and do what you want to do with me. That's not okay.
What about me after the goodies is getting got?
Okay, not my goodies, not my goodies.
That's what Sierra said.
Okay. Girl, I'm just like, but anywho, girl,
that's a good one.
Y'all need to get back to making, and I know that there are some real R&B men out there, but I feel like, and this is just my little tangent, I feel like that is what's missing, an element that's really missing in R&B music is when you listen back to the Al Greens and you listen back to the Bobby Womack's, which is one of my favorite artists, there was a real urgency in how they spoke to women. Yeah. How they, came after us. You see what I'm saying? Like, you my woman, and I'm letting you know on bended knee, I need you. What happened to the begging?
Well, if I can counter that, what happened to the women giving them something to beg for? And this is why I told you, leery.
My wig is snatched.
With giving me a mic and letting me speak on these things. Because I think that it's real easy
talk about it
to point fingers at the opposite sex, no matter what you are. If it's a man pointing finger at a woman, or one pointing finger at a man. I agree with you.
Come on.
I mean, like, it done got real lackadaisical on both sides with lyrics, with creativity, with intention. But I mean, like, if we living in a world where women is not giving them nothing to beg for, giving them no mystery to, no intellectual conversation. Like, if everything is just physical, then how can we expect them to write a song about being intentional towards us? They telling us what they want. I want you to bust it down for me real quick. And the women is saying, I can bust it down real quick because I want to. This is my body. But he asking you to bust it. You busting it. And then telling them you can't have it. So then they get mad that we busting it, but they actually, it's just a circle. I think that there is a conglomerate of women. Did I say that word right?
Yes, you said it right. You got it. There we go.
Don't judge me.
That's the word.
It's
gonna be today. That's what it is today.
I think there is a group of men and women. It ain't got to be small, but I'm doing it like this because music, like, let's say the music business is this big. I think there's a remnant of people who are being intentional with the lyrics that they write. They are being creative. They are being melodic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that they have the full package thought out from start to finish. And we do have storytellers. Yeah. We do have people who are like, let me just get back to loving you just for who you are, or this is how I want to show my love to you. And it's not just all sexual and aggressive. I think
what it is that type of music is not being pushed.
Correct. It don't fit the narrative.
I do think that it is being created, but it's just not being pushed. I want to go back to like the standards though. I think I ultimately feel like there is a lot of blame game going on when it comes to like men are like this and I feel like this: women, raise your standards, don't settle, and go for what fits you, right? But don't sit here and complain about this, that, and the third, because we know niggas ain't straight. We know that. However, but there's some ain't shit women either too. You see what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, what about the men who set their standards? Exactly. There are men who have standards.
Exactly. And so I think that if people focus on their backyard and focus on healing their past traumas and focus on healing themselves so that they can be all that they seek, right? Because it's one thing to require something from somebody else, but can you fit the bill? Do you fit what you're looking for?
Absolutely.
Right? And so you really have to be putting in that time to really grow yourself, to be in position to meet the person that you're looking for and you're seeking for. So I do think, I always put the onus back on women, because I think the reason why things are so laxy-daisy in dating, in trying to find, people, and people have these low standards, is because what one woman won't do, You got one ready
Absolutely.
to cock them legs open and do it,
Absolutely.
okay?
I
so
agree.
if we just raise the vibration, we could get somewhere.
I agree. And you know, not to knock the woman who got her legs cocked open. You know, like, because it's her body.
Yeah. No,
it's for
and
her.
I want to specify this too. I am all for women being sexually liberated. You know what I'm saying?
I was just coming more so
Yeah.
from the side, like, there's a group of men who are looking for that kind of woman.
Yeah.
There's a group of women who want to be that woman because that's the type of man they're looking for.
Exactly.
But a man who is looking for that can't find that in a woman who ain't got her legs cocked open.
Come on now.
So I think I'm with you. Women, we can do better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think we need to realize when you see a duck, that's a duck. But you can't look at a swan, and think it's a duck.
Okay.
And then get mad when the swan don't do what the duck do. You get what I'm saying?
Come on
And so
now.
now you got men like this women. It's so childish
And
for
then
you
let's
not to
talk-
want to have sex. No, it's my right to not want to have sex. Nothing childish
Girl,
about
first
that.
off, it's my body, okay? And I'm gonna put this out here on this
My
episode.
body.
I'm gonna say this.
Uh-oh.
Don't judge me.
No judgment. Not at Avaar.
I'm gonna say this.
Ooh.
The reason why I ain't popped this, okay, is because I ain't met a real one yet.
Give me some.
Okay,
me
because I'm
some.
gonna be honest with you. Grew up in the church. You know, I love
Same.
the Lord. He heard my cry.
Yeah, he did.
But mama got needs. Okay, and it's not that I don't want to pop this. It's that I ain't met a real nigga to pop it for. You see what I'm saying? And so, with it being my body, my choice, I'm not gonna give it to somebody who's not deserving of all that I got to give.
I gotta come back for another episode. I want to ask you a question so bad, but I feel like it's gonna take away from what you got.
It's cool
But-
because we definitely she coming back. Okay, she's acquainted with the Avaar platform, and she's coming back because the energy and the synergy is so great. Okay, we
Period.
definitely got to run this back.
Can y'all feel it?
Okay, it's permeating through the camera.
This was so good. Oh, I want to say something so
Yes.
bad, but you're right. It's your body. You do what you want.
You got it's your body and your choice, but
Do what you want.
You better make some good decisions.
Make
and some
good
good
decisions.
choices. Okay.
Sorry.
Good decisions, exactly. Good decisions. Okay, let me see. What's niggas on this? I'm just gonna edit this. Okay, so I want to segue into a topic that I first heard you talk about. I think it was at a show that you were performing at. Oh, it was at Brittany's show. Shout out to Brittany Palmer.
Yes, love you,
Yes,
Brittany.
love you, girl. And I remember you before you did your song. You talked about the meaning of the song and where it came from, and you talked about being in a domestic violence situation and how you had to get away from that, and just a little bit about my upbringing.
Okay.
So which I've never shared on camera before, but my mother was in a domestic violence situation.
Okay.
Real quick background on that. She was dating this guy, and he in his family struggled with alcohol abuse.
Okay.
And it's so crazy because prior to that happening, I remember we were all at one of his family's functions at a game night that they had at the house. All the kids was in the room, and another guy, which was his brother, basically got into an argument with his old lady at the time, and he had to be all of like 300 or more like 400 pounds. Like 450 pounds, probably 500 pounds, like a big guy.
A bigger guy.
And his girlfriend was like, had to be like 190 wet. Rammed her clean through the door. And so that was my first time that I had ever seen domestic violence like that. And it was so scary because all of the kids were crying. I was trying to console them. And it was just crazy because I didn't grow up in situations pretty much like that. I did see my mom get into some stuff with guys and stuff like that, but it wasn't nothing to that extent.
Sure.
And so then fast forward, there was a time where her boyfriend, which was also a part of that family, we had all got in the car. He was drunk, so she wanted to take him to go stay by his sister's house. And I'm in the back seat, my mom's driving, and he's in the passenger seat. And he was real drunk, so I don't know why he did it or whatever like that, but he pulled the wheel. Our car flipped over into the ditch. Thank God we landed on all fours. And when he got out the car, he still was like drunk and, just disheveled and stuff like that. And he backhand slapped my mother. Now the Leo in me, my mother was also, I didn't even say this, but my mother was also sick. And I don't know if I told you, but I lost my mom at 13.
No.
Yeah. And so she was on oxygen at that point. And so I don't know if you've ever seen an oxygen tank, but she had like small oxygen tanks. It's all metal. Yeah. So all I know is I was reaching for that tank. Because I was going to bash his head in.
Yeah, you can protect your mom.
And my mom had to stop me, because he slapped her. He wasn't like beating on her. He just slapped her. But that was enough for me to take this nigga out of this lifetime, because I just, it was uncalled for. So anyway, so that's my experience with domestic violence. And I've always been very weary about making sure that I'm not, if I see red flags in a guy, I anger issues or anything, because there's trauma there for me, as a person who experienced it secondhand. So I want to know, how did you find yourself in a situation like that? What led up to that? And more on that.
So excuse me. You're good. Well, first of all, I want to say sorry that you had to witness that at such an early age. Yeah. I too did not grow up in a household like that. I grew up with both my parents, actually. Okay. So my mom and my father were married my entire life. I lost my father in 2011. Oh, wow. He was my first best friend. Yeah. I'm a daddy's girl through and through. Oh, okay. I was 20 when he passed away. Oh, okay. So shortly after, I want to say I met him when I was 23. 23 or 24. Okay. One of those. I only got 3 whoopings my whole life. I could tell you each experience 3. Okay. My dad was the disciplinarian in the house. Yeah. He didn't play that. He said what he said, and that's what he meant. He can give a look. He didn't have to really raise his voice. Yeah. It was just that type of authority. Okay. And me and my sister at the time, because me and my sister lived together, because I told you I had 4. Yeah. The boys were older. They were out the house. Okay. So he ain't had to do all that with us. Like, hey, I said what I said. So 3 whoopings my whole life. Okay. Gotcha. Never really got yelled at. That was not the type of environment, that yelling at me type of thing. I would say when it was the worst, when it was at its worst, when I looked at it like my father would be so disappointed in me. Gotcha. For dealing with something like this. Yeah. 20 years old, that means I made it through high school with a father. Yeah. So the whole, I couldn't have a boyfriend was a thing. Yeah. A man should treat you like this. You should expect this from a man. All of these different things, I learned them. Yeah. I don't want to say that I was in that situation because I had daddy issues. It was more so just like I've always felt like the ugly duckling in my friendship circles. Wow, you're beautiful. Thank you. It's a lot better now. Yeah. But growing up, I've always been a big girl. I've always been the bigger girl. Yeah. In the friendship, even when I wasn't. Baby, if I could go back to when I thought I was a whale, I would go be that size right now. Come on now. Okay, but I was always the biggest friend. Yeah. I was always for the culture, people who are watching this. Yeah. The take one for the team. You know what I'm talking about? I
ain't taking shit for the team. Okay.
Okay. So, but you get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like if your friend got a boyfriend and his friend come over and he ain't the cutest.
Yeah.
But she like, girl, just talk to him. I was that vice versa, switched around.
Okay.
So, but only because I was bigger. Right? And so that feels some type of way. My friends were very sexually active.
Wow. Okay.
Growing up. That was not my story.
We got similar.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was not my story.
Uh-huh.
And so it was rooted in a lot of insecurity. I don't think it had anything to do with the daddy issue.
Okay.
I think it was rooted in insecurity. It was rooted in someone who I thought was very attractive, who I thought was like a catch. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to discredit that man. Let me start there.
Yeah.
I don't want to discredit that man.
Yeah.
Because he was handsome.
Yeah.
He was a catch. You know what I'm saying? He has something going on for himself. But the things that I allowed was rooted in insecurity because I'm like, I finally, as the ugly duckling, got a man that other women would find attractive. Okay, because that's a thing.
Yeah,
we talk about it.
It is.
I had a man who was tall,
Yeah.
bald, beard, can dress, smell good. He was a chef. So all of these different things, I'm just like, you gotta hold on to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I would also like to point out, domestic violence is not just physical abuse.
Yeah, it's not.
It is emotional abuse. It
could be spiritual abuse.
spiritual abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse. It can be literally like the neglect, physical neglect. You know what I'm saying? They start you on one thing and then they remove something from you, you know, abruptly. And so that's really how it started.
So okay. So how did y'all meet?
I thought he was someone else.
Not the long version, but the short version.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
On Facebook. I thought he was someone else. So I accepted his friend request.
Okay.
He messaged me on Facebook. And I was like, I thought that was my best friend's cousin.
Okay.
And so I'm like, best friend, get your cousin.
Okay.
You know, like your cousin is trying to talk to me.
me.
And she's like, that is not my cousin.
Okay.
And so from there, I entertained it. Like, well, since this ain't your cousin and it ain't nothing wrong.
Okay.
Hello.
How you doing?
So that's what we met on Facebook.
Okay.
We met on Facebook.
Okay. So how did it become, I guess, romantic? Did y'all start off as friends and then it gradually? Oh, y'all went straight into it.
Talk about, and I think that's one reason. It sounds so crazy because there was a lot of beautiful things that came from their relationship. But
did you feel love bombed?
After a while, yes.
Okay.
Very much so. Because, baby, I was about to be married. Quickly. 2 months in, we was going to get married. Oh,
wow.
Mama, if you ever see this.
Wow.
Yes, but I will say one thing that I appreciated about him, because he was older than me. He was 9 years older than me.
Let me tell y'all something. Wastila love her as an older man. I loves an older man, but you got to watch out because that experience that man has, if you don't truly know yourself, you know, and I feel like I've had older guys try to get with me when I was in my younger 20s. And I stopped myself, not because these weren't attractive guys or, you know, they couldn't provide a certain lifestyle for me, because I done had niggers wanting to pay my bills, pay college off and all type of stuff when I was in college. But it's more so I didn't want to put myself in a situation where I had to perform in a certain type of way, or I wasn't as experienced as the other person. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a power struggle. So, yeah.
So, to that point, I've always been kind of ahead in age, like more wisdom, kind of. So I graduated college and went right into my profession.
Okay.
So when I met him, I was in my profession.
Got you.
Like, so I was established. I had an apartment. I had a car. I was paying my bills.
Got
so
you.
meeting someone that was older than me didn't really intimidate me to that point, because I felt like I'm out here being grown. I'm an adult.
Okay.
Adulting. So you are just another adult. You just happen to be older than me.
Got you. Okay. So that's how you looked at it. Okay.
Yeah. But what I was telling you was one beautiful thing that I feel like kind of stays with me now. He applied pressure. Like, he was very consistent.
So, okay.
You said, how did it go romantic?
Yeah,
That's
so applying pressure, but you also said that you did feel love bombed. Looking back at it, was there because I feel like it's a difference between a guy applying pressure and being assertive, or instead of love bombing. So when did you discover that it was love bombing instead of him?
The
just
love
being...
bombing started once I was ready to walk away.
Oh.
So in the beginning,
you don't know a good thing until it's gone.
Type of vibe.
Okay.
So when I say applying pressure, I mean like from that conversation that we were having in the messenger, Facebook Messenger, it was, I would like to continue this. What's your phone number? From there, it's we're talking and we're texting.
Gotcha.
From there, is okay. Well, it's been about 7 days. I'd like to see you.
Gotcha.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like what everybody is saying, kind of like it's standard now, which you could barely get.
Gotcha.
It was like that. It was very, I'm interested in you. I like the way you talk. So then we went on dates.
Okay.
We hung out. My friendship circle met his friendship circle very early on. So it was just like, everybody got to see, you know, my friends got to see, oh, he treats you nice. It's cool. Yeah, he a good guy. You know, my friends like, oh, his friends, they decent. They a little rough around the edges, but they good. So it was very like, it felt very natural and safe and okay to do. That's what I mean by applying pressure. Like, he was very intentional. Like, I would like to see you. What's your schedule? Or be like, oh, Thursday you said you're going to be off. So what are you doing Thursday at this time? I'd like to.
Okay.
So I ended up in that situation strictly based on insecurities as a woman of myself.
Yeah.
And it was unhealthy love too. So insecure because I finally felt like the years of being a teenager, not having no boyfriend, not having that experience with men liking me. Here's somebody who like told me I'm beautiful all the time.
And he validated
correct.
Essentially those insecurities.
Right, you know, he was just like, no, you're beautiful. I want to be with you. I love you. I like you. All of these different things. And it was good until it just wasn't.
Gotcha.
Honestly, and I feel like you get somebody who's insecure with somebody else who's insecure. He liking the validation from anywhere it come from. As for me, I'm liking the validation coming from him.
So when did it take the turn?
When I asked him about a woman.
So did it start with emotional abuse first, or did it just go straight into physical abuse?
No, it was definitely emotional and mental.
Okay.
It was definitely emotional and mental.
So what are the things that said person would do that kind of like, now looking back on it, you're like, okay, that was definitely emotional and mental abuse? And you could be vague.
Emotional. No, okay. So things like, you know, we make plans to hang out. And when you bring up those plans to hang out is, oh my God, you act like I don't have to work all day and I'm on my feet all day cooking this food. And, you know, I'll just come over. That's fine. We'll just hang out at the house or something like that. It's like, well, you didn't used to have an issue with going out and hanging out and doing stuff like that. You've been a chef this whole time I knew you.
Okay.
Mental things would be like, you know, like, hey, you said this, but I see this with my own two eyes. Some of that was just pure stupidness. I'll own it. I was just being stupid. But like, I don't know who that girl is. You know, all of this other stuff. And then next thing you know, y'all in pictures together. Like, you don't know her though, but she's always around.
Gotcha.
So, you know, different things like that trying to play on my mind. Like,
so no, basically you're seeing things happening real time, but he's like, nah, it's not what you thinking. Like, you really tripping.
Yeah. Or, you know, just
so gaslighting.
Very much so. Here's the thing. He was in a relationship with her while he was in a relationship with me. I would like to say that the timeline, this is getting in my business. The timeline was more so I was first, but it was more so like we was concurrent. We like
not
very
you
much so
double dating at the same time.
Yeah, no, for real. It's crazy. It's crazy
and
how
it's
it all
so
turned out.
What's crazy to me is how you juggling all this. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to segue a little bit because I had a situation.
Do it.
Okay, and we're going to talk about this on a podcast episode, but this guy who turned out to be very deviant towards me by something that he said, who wanted to physically accost me, and he warned me of that. This said person, a year later, I end up working at a daycare, and come to find out, I was telling this girl about like my experience with this guy or whatever. Come to find out, they had been in a whole relationship since high school, and they were still in a relationship given the timelines that I had. So you in these double lives that some of you fellas be leading.
Man, I don't see how they don't get tired. I don't see how they don't get tired.
Just be honest, because let me tell you something. One thing I will say about my intuition never lies.
Never.
The way that God speaks to me about people in particular, never wrong. It is like a second sense for me. Like I be on the button with it. But anyway, I digress. I just had to tell you about that because I just don't understand how a person can juggle all that. I don't like people enough to do all that.
I don't know either, but I also think, like I said, the insecurities. Now you got one woman telling you all of these great things about yourself, and here's another woman telling you all these great things about yourself. However, y'all both work at the same place. Y'all do some of the same things. So you might have a different connection with her than with me.
And see, I gotta say this, fellas. Gotta put this out there. Okay, communication is key, right? Some people may be into what you're into. I want to say this. Men need to understand, if you communicate what you want, that woman may be into that, right? Correct. There are women out here that wouldn't mind you dating somebody else, you know, if you're just keeping it above.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But you over here want to lie, cheat, scheme, and bring
make it
people
harder
in.
for yourself. Now you got to remember the lies you tell.
Exactly. So I say all that to say, just be honest.
Just be honest.
Be real about what you want, because let me tell you something.
Be real.
For the women and the man, you can never be wrong on what you desire or what you want. There is somebody out here to fulfill that for you, but you need to keep it a buck. I just want to say that.
Give a choice.
Okay,
always
give a choice. Give a choice because, you know, I always said, if my man is fulfilling me in all of the ways, I'm not saying that I even tolerate cheating, but if I don't know,
I refuse to get into that conversation.
No, and that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not saying that I will, because actually cheating is my non-negotiable. So if I find out, it's a wrap. But if a man is fulfilling me in all areas and he not sloppy with, and I don't know, I want to know. I'm not saying I don't want to know, but if I just happen to not know about one particular time and you take it to your grave and you use and protect, I'm not saying, will I stay with my husband? Who knows?
My gosh.
It could. I'm not saying I will, I wouldn't. I'm just saying. But anyway, I digress. So.
This is so good.
So you talked about, okay,
so I'll say it like this. Yeah. It turned into me always wanting to see him now. Okay. So that's why I said the love bomb thing. Okay. Because I had gotten accustomed to being loved and treated and time spent with and all of those kinds of things.
So it was like he was taking it away.
Correct. It was almost like, I think he and himself maybe was like, I can't balance both of them like this.
Make sure you close to the mic.
I'm sorry. I can't balance both of them like this, doing both of them this way. And I was a little bit more accountable. I would hold him a little bit more accountable to the things he said.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you said you wanted to be here by the end of this time. You're not doing what you need to do. So I didn't want to be his mom. Yeah. But it was like, hey, I'm growing and doing things that I want to do. So you got to be doing that too. And I feel like it became like a nagging to him. Gotcha. Whereas it could have just been, he could go do whatever he want to do. I hate to say that, but with her. Because with me, I'm more so like, you said you was going to do this. I'm going to hold you to it. Gotcha. And that's what we would argue about a lot.
Okay. So when did it become from mental and verbal abuse to then physical? You said when you asked about...
No, that's when the mental and emotional started. The physical abuse... The first time I ever thought that he would hit me, he yelled at me so loud. Again, I didn't grow up being yelled at. Yeah. He yelled at me so loud that my neighbors, like, he yelled, stomped, was throwing stuff around and left out of my apartment. And my neighbor came over and was like, "Are you okay?" And I thought he was going to hit me then, but he didn't. Similar situation to with your mom. We had gotten into an argument. He was... fine, I'll come over there and spend some time with you type of thing.
Yeah.
And so we got into an argument.
Uh-huh.
And we got in my car and we were driving. And I was playing K. Michelle. I will never forget.
Can't Raise a
I was
Man?
Okay. What's the other song?
I would have been like, that would have been the perfect one.
You gonna cry.
Oh, I love that song.
You gonna pay me and all them tears.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm singing it out in my heart because I'm like, at this point, I know that when I take him to where he go this time, we not coming back. I don't want nothing else to do with you. And we got to a red light, and I was singing the song, and I said something, and he was like, "You getting ready to piss me off?" And I was just like, "Okay, Ann," because in my mind, I got my balls. I'm done. In my mind, I'm done.
Okay.
And I said something, and before I could finish the whole sentence, man, that whole hand knocked my glasses. I got on contacts right now, but I wear glasses. Knocked my glasses off my face.
Oh, hell
And I
nah.
sat there like,
Shocked.
cause you know when you're mad, you like.
I know this nigga didn't.
So I'm driving. He like, yeah, you ain't got nothing to say now. So
Oh,
now
and
it's
you were
taunting.
driving.
Very much so. And so he's taunting. Oh my gosh.
First off, I would have been like, nigga, you don't care nothing about your life, because baby, me, the
That
crazy
girl,
me. Oh, you
I'll
wanna,
tell you this.
Oh, let me
I'll
get
tell you this.
You gonna die today.
I'll tell you this.
Uh-huh.
Before that situation happened, Wasila, I was you sitting in that seat saying all of that. I kid you not, I was never down with the get down because I wasn't raised that way.
Yeah.
And so we drove past the police station and everything. And I'm just sitting in the car like, did this really happen?
Yeah.
And so we pull up to the spot. We get out the car, and I'm just like, you know what? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I get out the car like I'm coming around this car. We finna go at it.
Yeah.
And I get out the car, and that man pinned me up against the side of the car here. And I'm like gasping for air.
Oh, no.
And I'm looking him in his eyes, and I'm like, do it. Because at this point, if I'm going to be completely honest, I had already tried to commit suicide. Because I'm like, how am I so successful? I'm away from my family.
Yeah.
He's literally breaking me down. I'm allowing him to do it. I own every piece of my part in that relationship.
Yeah.
I'm allowing it to be done, but I don't want to live no more. Because it's like, this the man I want to be with. It's crazy when you get in your head for real. And you dealing with anxiety and depression that's undiagnosed.
So do you feel like, looking back, you loved him more than you loved yourself?
Absolutely. Again, I was very insecure.
Yeah.
And I wanted what other people who had been around me had. And I felt like I once had that with this person.
Yeah.
I once had that. Where did it go? How can I get it back? I think that's why I stayed. I was always trying to figure out a new way to get him to be back to who he introduced me to, who he made me fall in love with, who that person was. And that was the first time, and after that, it was always like, maybe it was, not I want to say always. There are more scars that I have that you cannot see from their relationship than ones that I do. Because this is a line in one of my songs. My physical scars are all gone, but my mental ones still heal. I literally I continuously heal from that. Even in talking to men now, even in dating with men now, I can't say that I'm fully healed, but I am healed enough to not project that issue onto other men.
Gotcha.
But it was a gradual thing. It was very gradual.
Okay.
I see it.
Yeah. Okay. But okay. So I guess to like sum it up, because I did wanted to get into more, but it's not permitting.
I can always come back.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we just do a segment on that too.
Okay.
But to sum it up, I guess, what do you know about yourself now, and about love now that you didn't know then?
Sure. I accept me for all that I have because I am a great woman.
You are.
I am intellectual. I am beautiful inside and out.
Yeah.
No matter what body image may say. I'm a good person. I have good intentions towards people.
Yeah.
I'm creative. I have all of these different things that make me worthy and valuable. I am more confident in myself in this period of my life than I've ever been.
That's beautiful.
I have boundaries. I have standards. I'm not comparing my life to the people around me anymore.
Yeah.
I have self-awareness.
That's good.
And so the reason why I continue to sing about love is because that was just a season in my life. That's not my whole love story.
Exactly.
That's not my whole love journey. And I feel like I write and I sing from a place of things that I have experienced because all of that relationship was not bad.
Yeah.
All of the different relationships I've been in have not been bad.
Yeah.
But we learn and we grow.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to keep singing about, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I'm going to sing about the things I have had and the things that I desire to have.
Manifest too.
Yeah. And so I think one can say, yes, I went through that situation. It did not stunt my faith and my knowing that I am going to have real love that I desire, that matches what I want.
Exactly.
And I don't think that I'm exempt from that because I had one bad relationship.
Come on now. You better preach. Because let me tell you something. It's so many people out there that are believing or thinking or drinking the juice of like, that relationship is who I am. That defines me. No, that's a moment. Right. And you, in those moments, teach you, learn the lesson in that so that you don't have to go back and repeat that same cycle over again. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that was your first and last. I mean, I think that
was my last relationship.
Your last relationship that you had to experience that. So now we know what to look for. We know what not to go for. You know what I'm saying? And I also do want to say this from my experiences. Because I grew up seeing domestic violence, it gave me a perspective of what to look for in a relationship. So for you, you came from the perspective of like you went through it, you had to learn to get through it. Right? For me, I seen exactly what I did not want.
Absolutely.
And I seen, rest in peace to my mom. It was just her birthday, December 17th.
Happy belated birthday.
Yes. And what I learned from my mother was such a good woman. Like she gave men things that they did not deserve.
Absolutely.
And so I vowed to myself that I'm not about to just give all this good love that I have to the wrong person, because you can be loving with intention, but you can be loving the wrong person. You see what I'm saying? And it feels like all that you're giving isn't enough because you're loving the wrong person. So
if I could say something, my mentor told me, because I told her, I said, sometimes I feel like I'm going to be single for the rest of my life just because of the standards that I do have and the boundaries that I do have that don't fit in today's norms of what's okay and what's not. And she said to me, how about you only give people what you don't mind them having? And so you give people your time. That's because that's an amount of time you don't mind them having.
Come on now.
You give people your love because you don't mind them having it. If you want to give them your body sexually, that's because you don't mind them having it. But don't give anybody anything you don't want them to have. And so if that's a wrap up to their relationship, I am at a place where I am no longer giving people anything I don't want them to have that is mine.
Come on. So, and that is a significant point, and that's something that I've had to learn over time, especially as being a recovering people pleaser and things of that nature.
I too.
So, but yeah, this has been a beautiful, beautiful episode.
Yeah, I did good, y'all.
I want to try to fit this segment in because
if it cut off.
Yeah, if it cut off. Okay, so give me your 5 top. Let me see, 5 people that. Okay, give me 5 people that you have, your 5 top people that you have studied musically, and just as rapid fire. So the first thing that comes to mind of the people that you would love to work with and who
Yes.
has inspired you the most musically?
Okay, so number one is Jill Scott.
Okay.
Her ability to tell a story.
Yes.
Her ability to perform and captivate. And longevity.
Okay.
The longevity that she's had.
Okay.
I like her vocals as well because she plays with music. She can do opera. She'll slip into poetry. Then she has that real R&B soul type of vibe.
Okay.
So I love Jill Scott. It's my favorite artist.
Okay, number two.
Number two, I'm going to go Tiana Major 9.
Okay, I know who that is.
I like Tiana Major 9. I like her sultry voice as well.
Okay.
I don't know too much about if she writes her own music, but I love how she's very creative in her music.
Yes. Okay, number three.
Number three, Kiara Sheard.
Love Kiara Sheard.
Love her
okay,
down.
I grew up on Kiara
I love you
Sheard.
down, Kiara
Okay.
Kiki Sheard Kelly.
Okay.
Kiara Sheard for her boldness,
Yes.
and her creativity with trying to merge gospel and R&B together. She does it so
Ooh,
very
and she
well.
does it
She does it very.
well.
She
I
does it
love
very
her
tastefully
music. Yes.
and respectfully
Yes,
as well.
and
That's
it's still
three.
with style and yeah. Okay. Number four.
Geez, you on 5. Number 4.
It could be man too.
I know. I'm trying to think of some guys. I'm gonna go to Victoria Monet. I love her resilience. She's persistent.
Yes.
I love her creativity as well. I love her ear.
Very.
I love her vocal agility and tricks
Yes.
and things like that. And then my 5th person. Jeez Louise, man.
I heard you mention Tank earlier.
I'm gonna give it to Tank.
Okay.
I'll give it to Tank.
Shout out to Tank.
I'll give it to Tank because Tank has
bring
had his
us on the
hand.
podcast, Tank. Okay. Do you hear me?
All things.
Bring us
R&B.
on the podcast. All things.
But yeah, Tank for his songwriting ability, his arrangements,
Yeah.
and his versatility. Because
Perfect.
Tank is a part of a lot of songs that people don't know about.
Yes.
So he is Tank.
Tank,
Ooh, that's
Tank.
a good one.
Yes,
Yeah.
Tank is a good one. Okay, so where can people find you?
Absolutely.
Work that out real quick.
So, Avaar, you can find me on all streaming platforms under BRIWILL. That is Bri Will. On Instagram, it is BRIWILL official. That's Bree Will official. And then on YouTube, yes, I have a YouTube. Go over there and check it out. It is called Becoming Bree Will. So you can go and watch all of the old videos about all of the times where I was rehearsing and going out. And I got a lot of vlogs and stuff like that. So it's just you're watching me become who Bree Will is ultimately going to be in the long run.
Yes, we love that.
Got some new stuff coming out for 2025, so make sure that you are staying in touch with me. And y'all make sure y'all lock in with my girl, Wasila Giwa. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for letting me chit-chat.
Thank you for being a part.
Sorry to that man. This is just our truth. Honestly, I'm not going to say it's just my truth because we lived through it together. So if he
Yeah.
happens to see this, no bad feelings towards
Yeah.
him. Forgiveness has been
Exactly.
released. No hard feelings for I wish him well in all that he is doing. But it is our story. And if
Yeah.
anybody ever asks me about it, I'm going to tell the truth because it happened.
Exactly,
And
as
if
you
I could save a
should.
life, if I could
Come
tell somebody
on.
they are not alone, I will.
Exactly, because it's important to be able to share your truth because you don't know who you're setting free.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
I know that that's been my saving grace, seeing some of my greats or people that I look up to or just people in general that I may come across online, hearing some of their experiences, it lets me know that I'm not alone. So
Yeah.
keep sharing your story, keep shining, keep being a beautiful person, the beautiful person that you are. Since the moment we met, I've loved your spirit and I'm glad that we had this time to hang out and really just get to know each
Yeah,
other
for
and
real.
talk and chit
Yeah,
chat
for
because
real.
I've
I
always
agree.
wanted to do this with you. So
Oh, well, I was excited when you asked me. And I'll be tuning in. Will you?
will you?
Will you?
Okay, so that has been another episode of Avaar. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
So this has been another episode of the Avaar podcast. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me, the host, Wasila Giwa, on all platforms. And also follow Avaar on all platforms at Avaar Podcast. Beat provided by Esquire, one of the greatest to ever do it. And we're going to keep these episodes rolling. And until next time, love ya. Peace. Peace.